Acura's all-new ADX, a compact SUV that isn't just built for one thing, it's precision crafted for everything. To escape the grind with available all-wheel drive. To go with your flow with available Google built-in.
Hey Google, turn it up.
Okay, turning up the volume. And crafted to be heard with an available Bang & Olufsen premium sound system. The all-new Acura ADX, crafted to match your energy. Acura, precision crafted performance.
Take your vibes and go.
Google is a trademark of Google LLC.
The new McCrispy Strip is here. Dip approved by ketchup, tangy barbecue, honey mustard, Sprite, McFlurry, Big Mac sauce, double dipped in buffalo and ranch, more ranch, and creamy chili McCrispy Strip Dip. Now at McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
They fooled me, we can't get fooled again.
In Dallas, Texas, 3 shots were fired at President Kennedy's motorcade in downtown Dallas.
December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
You don't know what you're talking about, do you, sir?
Because people have got to know whether or not their president's a crook. Well, I'm not a crook. I've earned everything I've got.
If you don't like what we tell you to believe in, we'll kill you.
All right, kids. Listen. Don't listen to this podcast.
Don't listen to this.
If you're not of age.
What's of age?
18.
16?
18. We're a bunch of dudes, and we're going to say some really bad words.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Conspiracy Podcast.
Oh my God, we meet again. You're still here. I love you.
I never left, actually.
I'm Eric, if you don't know.
This is Jorge. What's up, guys?
I'm not Jorge I. He's Jorge. And I'm Sean. What's up, guys?
How's everybody doing? It's been a bit? No?
Tired.
Tired. Oh,
I just flew in today.
Yeah, Jorge was gallivanting in New York.
That's true, huh? Mm-hmm. When did you get in, by the way?
I think kind of early, like 3. But
because I saw your post and I was like, he knows we're recording, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Well, this is an episode. It's one of the big ones. It's one of the most famous. I wouldn't call it even a conspiracy. It's a mystery.
It's more of a mystery.
Yeah. It's more of a mystery, but it does fall into the realm of, conspiracies
category.
Or like the biggest mysteries on earth.
Well,
right?
it's also like we talked about numerous times. The word conspiracy has been construed to mean like a lie or
some tinfoil.
A myth.
Yes.
Not actually what it really means, which is
Yes.
2 or more people conspiring to commit some sort of nefarious act or crime.
Now, this is not a crime that is committed, so
it's a crime.
Maybe
it doesn't exist.
Yeah, maybe it doesn't fit into the whole conspiracy.
Oh, it
thing.
does.
Well, maybe we'll see.
I don't know.
Anyways,
It fits for us.
Yeah, it's the lost city of Atlantis.
Yeah.
Atlantis. I had to take it. Atlantis.
So before we kick things off, thoughts? What do you guys know about this? Do you guys know a lot about Atlantis? Do you?
I mean, define a lot.
Do you have
I know a little bit, and mostly actually, like, because we've brought it up in a few of our episodes, here and there. Obviously not like super details, but that's almost about as far as I know.
Yeah,
I don't know a whole lot. I don't know.
It's a lost city.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm exercising all of my high school diploma for this.
Okay, good.
Expert.
So let's kick it off. In a single day and night of misfortune, the island of Atlantis disappeared into the sea. And that was from Plato. That was 360 BCE.
Plateau.
So the legend of Atlantis begins not with explorers or with scientists or with people on boats, but a philosopher, Plato.
Plateau. I like Plateau better. Should we call him Plateau?
Yes.
I think it sounds
you can
more
call
legit.
it Plateau.
Plateau.
Or Plato.
Also,
Plato's plata.
Plato vato.
Also spelled Plato.
Yes, Plato.
Yeah, Plato.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to say it and it's going to suck.
Plato.
But
Plato.
Whoa, that was a good white guy accent.
Plato.
So Plato is one of the most influential thinkers in human history.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Plato was not a historian. That's extremely important in this entire story.
Yeah, so just so he's saying he wasn't like recording history. He was like theorizing shit.
That's right. So the beginning of this is not a historian.
Okay.
Tracking?
Yeah.
So there's no mention of the word Atlantis before him.
So why did he bring it up?
Okay.
He just like made this shit up. He's like,
So he wasn't a historian.
This is gonna sell.
Yeah.
He wasn't.
It's gonna sell, baby. This is gonna sell papyrus.
Actually, he wasn't even trying to be a historian. He was trying to be, or he was, a philosopher. He was a student of Socrates and the teacher of Aristotle. He founded the Academy in Athens, one of the first institutions of higher learning in the Western world. His writings laid the foundation for Western thought in areas like ethics, politics, logic, and metaphysics. But he often conveyed those deep ideas or philosophical meanings not through lectures or essays, but through dialogues that he would have with his students and telling stories.
Interesting.
Storyteller. It's already off to a bad start.
But he
Yeah,
would,
making shit up.
but he would kind of mix them in with real people.
Okay.
So he was kind of like a similar analogy would be like Tarantino when he did Inglourious Bastards.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there's like Hitler's in there, but it's not really what happened with
Yeah,
him.
Hitler
Like,
didn't die in a fire in a theater.
he gets shot by like 70 rounds from an MP40.
Yeah,
Right.
But some would say that that's kind of like a historical movie. Ish.
I mean,
not really,
it's
but you know what I mean?
It's a
Some
similar.
could say.
Yes. No, but what I'm trying to say is imagine that story is handed down
Right.
2,000 years from now.
Telephone. They're like, oh yeah,
and you're like,
6-7.
is that history? Well, yeah, there was Hitler. There was this squad.
There was Nazis.
There was Nazis.
Yeah.
There was the bear Jew. There was the guy hunting Jewish. You know what I mean? There's a lot of history, but you get that. You get the point, right? Like the point is that they're mixing history and
fiction.
And then thousands of years go by, and then
And
we don't know what's real and what's
it becomes
not.
fact.
Yeah, we don't know what's real and what's not. So Atlantis enters the stage in two of these dialogues, Timaeus and Criterius. And I'm probably saying that wrong, so that for those who do have history degrees and or Greek mythology degrees, and
Criterius.
This was around 360 BCE. These were not history texts or travel logs. They were philosophical explorations of how a just society should function, how the universe might be ordered, and what happens when civilizations lose their virtue.
Ooh. So there's always like, I feel like there was always like a hidden meaning, some sort of
yes,
like almost
it was
like
a lesson.
Yeah, almost like a story, like stories for kids. There's always some sort of underlying moral kind of code being put in place.
Yeah, that's right. So the story of Atlantis then is wrapped in these stories, in these, whether or not they're real or not, but they were lessons that he tried to tell his students about. Basically, like, okay, if you have you as a civilization start getting what's the word, like when the Romans all of a sudden started having orgies and like they lost
degraded,
their
aberration.
They lost their way. They lost their moral compass.
They were like the pinnacle, and then they started doing started getting wild.
That's right. So in Timaeus, a character named Critias tells the story of an ancient civilization, Atlantis, that existed 9,000 years earlier.
Oh, shit.
He claims the story came from his great-grandfather who heard it from Solon, a real-life Athenian lawmaker who traveled to Egypt around 600 BCE. Egyptian priests supposedly told Solon that long before Athens was founded, a powerful empire named Atlantis tried to conquer the known world, but was stopped by a virtuous older Athens. Afterward, Atlantis was destroyed by some crazy cataclysmic flood and earthquake, and it sank beneath the sea.
Oh, damn.
Wow.
Plato presents this as a real event within the dialogue, but scholars have long debated his intent. Was he recounting a legend with some historical truth?
Or was he, like, trying to be
Trying to be cool.
Trying to be like a
trying to be like the cool guy.
He's a hip teacher. They're like, damn, man, Plato's got that shit. He's got that gas.
Yes, exactly. Actually, or was he inventing a fictional civilization to contrast against his philosophical ideals, or was he combining both?
Or was he just making something up so he could just paint the picture to like really convey whatever message he was trying to pass on to his students.
I mean, technically, if you really were thinking about it philosophically, I mean, what's the best way to convey a point is to show past experience.
Yes,
the past experience has proven that doing something this way is the wrong way to do it.
That's right,
because it happened, it occurred.
That's right. And another scenario of that is nowadays most people learn their. I hate to say this. But I would believe that nowadays, most people learn their lessons from a visual story.
Yeah.
Or like movies.
Yeah, movie,
documentaries. Well, because I would hope that we still read books.
Yeah,
I would hope that we still read books and like.
No, but even
I'm just saying storytelling.
Yeah, but even in book form, it's like the old adage: history is written by the victors. And so, like, I feel like actual history is being lost.
Yeah,
it's just being completely skewed.
We don't really know 100%, but
or like there are lessons that you probably heard as children. Like for example, I heard The Boy Who Cried Wolf. And that was to teach a lesson. Of don't fucking lie and don't like. You're on a post.
Look at all the Greek and Roman writings, like all the stories they told. Like look at the one of what's his name? Who flew too close to the sun? Oh my god.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Oh my god, I can't remember his name. But like he the great builder made him wings, and he thought he was invincible, and they were made of wax, and he flew too close to the sun, and they melted, and he died. Or like
and that's the lesson.
Or the story of Narcissus, and Narcissus was obsessed with himself, and eventually turned into a flower, the Narcissus flower, because which it actually droops down and it points downwards because he was so upset, and then that's where narcissism is brought. So that's like they were trying to input these moral codes into society.
Yeah. And there's so many like stories that even Plato used to try to teach his students like one lesson. The golden rule was one where it was treat others the way you want to be treated. Right? It's been around a long time, but he would tell stories to do it instead of just saying the sentence. Yeah,
which is beautiful. I think it's a great way to teach.
Yeah, I love that. Like with a story and way better.
So,
I want to know. Sorry,
I'll
probably let you go. But like, what is the moral of the Atlantis story?
Well, that's a great, fantastic
question. Like, what is he trying to? What are they learning from the story?
In essence, is that they went down into losing their morals and their.
They got AI. And they're like, we don't need to learn no more. We got AI, boys.
Shit.
No, like that.
History repeats itself.
I know, right? Literally.
It's essentially that they lost their way of morals.
Oh, they started getting like deviants and like they're like doing sketch shit.
Yes. Is that connected to how they were wiped out with the flood or?
I mean,
maybe it's
that's more like
God.
Yes,
like biblical.
Okay,
that's
like
more
Noah's
of
Ark flood.
Okay. That's more. If you go religious, it's God spiting or God's revenge or not revenge, but you know what I mean, like striking down or karma.
Oh, there you go.
Okay,
you know what I mean. Where if you do enough bad things against your moral code, then you'll get yours.
Yeah, it'll pull some weird shit.
Yeah. So, but now, so we've kind of established that Plato was a storyteller.
Yes.
Yeah. So he was kind of history,
not historian.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. But Plato went to unusual lengths to describe Atlantis. He described its geography.
Oh wow!
Its political structure, its engineering feats, and its downfall. So, like, unlike other stories that he has, he specifically talks about their land. How it was formed.
He was doing character development.
Yeah, like
he's like Tolkien.
He was really writing it. So people are confused because it has a historical tone.
Because he's giving a lot of specific data.
Exactly. But
But the weird thing is, like, since he never did that before, why is he doing it now?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he actually knows something.
Yes, exactly. So this is what makes Atlantis
kind of like
slippery.
when you giving your kids a story at nighttime and then you start lying and they're like, well, what about, you know, they ask some like question. I'm like, oh shit, I got to make something else up now.
Like, listen,
and it keeps going and going and going.
Yeah. But why is the dragon there? I'm like, listen, bitch, you don't want to know. Like,
go to sleep.
You wouldn't understand.
Additionally, what's strange about it is that the story that he was writing stopped mid-sentence, and we don't have any other information about it.
Was it lost? Was like the papyrus lost that he wrote it on, or
no? Just imagine you're writing a story, and then mid-sentence, the story's over.
He's like, and then right when the asteroid was right above their heads.
Yeah. So
what happened?
So we'll go over it later, and I actually have his writings. And I'll read you the paragraph, and then it ends.
The one where it ends? Okay,
yeah,
cool.
so we'll go over
so
that.
He lost funding. He lost funding.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, see what I mean? Like,
it
it's
was a
just
writer's
kind of
strike.
strange. Yeah. But again, so that's what we're trying to figure out tonight in this episode is was it history?
Mm-hmm.
Or was it fact?
Or was it made up?
Maybe a little mixy mix.
Yeah. And then where is it? And what happened to it? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm reloaded.
Okay, here we go. So after Plato sets the stage, he dives into the dazzling details of the Lost Kingdom itself. Atlantis, he says, wasn't just powerful, it was majestic. A near utopian society that blended nature, engineering, and divine order.
Damn.
At the heart of the island stood a capital city, arranged in concentric rings of land and sea. So just imagine, I'm going to show you guys some photos too.
Land, water.
Yeah, and okay. Everybody agrees because it's how he described it.
Oh, so that's like he's like the blueprint.
So think of it like a giant bullseye. Circles of land and water perfectly alternating with bridges and tunnels connecting each parts of those.
Kind of reminds me of like a city. You know that island? I think it's over there by Dubai, and it's shaped like a palm.
Yeah, the palm tree.
Yeah,
which is like sinking.
It is.
Oh yeah,
oh,
dude.
Wow.
They like engineered it wrong. It's like actually sinking. Fucking idiots.
So at the very center of this island, crowned, was a Temple of Poseidon, and it was said to gleam with gold and silver and topped with a roof of ivory. Inside stood a colossal gold statue of Poseidon himself, riding a chariot pulled by winged horses. Can you just fucking imagine?
Like Pegasus.
Fuck yes.
Jesus, this is.
But it's interesting that they also believed in the Greek gods.
Correct.
Interesting.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
How long these gods been around for, boys? Anunnaki.
Even his and to Sean's point, even the horses that he was riding were winged.
Yeah, the Pegasus.
Right.
Pegasus. Exactly. Additionally, the Atlanteans had incredible technology for the time per Plato. Yeah. Fresh water was channeled into the city through aqueducts, and there were docks and shipyards large enough to house fleets that could rival modern naval bases.
Yeah, damn it.
In between them, they had hot springs, then cold springs.
What the fuck?
What?
How are they channeling the hot springs and the cold springs?
They had massive race courses where they raced, royal gardens, fortified walls made of red, white, and black stone.
Okay, this is very specific. This is
I know, right? That's the weird part.
I mean, I think this is his Harry Potter. He's getting deep.
Yeah. And he just didn't finish.
Yeah, I know, right?
One cool detail, the Atlanteans mined a glowing red metal called orichalcum.
Ooh.
Second only to gold in value. Scholars and adventurers have long debated what it is. Some think it was copper alloyed with gold or zinc. Others believe it was just mythical. And it was some sort of
metal. But it's still
mythical metal.
Gold's still more important, though, boys.
Yeah.
Of course, we've never come up with mythical metals.
Not
Marvel.
I know.
No.
Ooh, adamantium. Which
Adamantium.
they renamed vibranium because of the whole
copyright.
The copyright thing with Sony.
But still, they're coming up with, you know what I mean? Our own storytellers of today also come up with it.
It's so weird how there's.
Well, they're just copying. Everything is fucking copy nowadays, by the way.
Or
so annoying.
It's actually true.
It's either copied or it's repetitive.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's another good point.
Or even he copied it.
Right. Maybe he found this. He was like, oh, this is hot.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's not that. I mean, it's a long time ago.
Yeah, it was like 2,500 years ago.
3,600, yeah.
3,600. That's a long time ago.
3,600. He said it was
3,600 BCE.
No,
it's
he
more
said
than
he was
that.
360 BCE.
Sorry, you're right.
Yeah, so it's like 2,400 years.
Don't worry, we'll edit that out.
Yeah.
Eric has never made a mistake ever.
Of course, well, that's
Not
fine.
one
Yeah.
time has he ever misspoke.
Hey, it's Bill Simmons from the Bill Simmons Podcast. The NBA playoffs are here, and Michelob Ultra is getting you closer to the game than ever with courtside seats and more. Enter now at MichelobUltra.com/courtside. Michelob Ultra Superior Access Courtside 2024 to 2025 sweepstakes. No purchase necessary. Open to U.S. residents 21 or older. Ends on July 1st, 2025. Multiple entry periods. Visit MichelobUltra.com/superior access/courtside for free entry deadlines and official rules. Message and data rates may apply. Void where prohibited.
Hilton brings you new ways to stay with experiences that let you capture the glory days. Introducing the Graduate Hotels. Each inspired by local college towns, these stays are always original and never boring. Get in touch with traditions all across the country and enjoy a stay that's a class above the rest. Book at Graduate Hotels with Hilton Honors Points at Hilton.com. It's a win-win. Hilton for the stay.
Yeah. 200 episodes. That's why we're never going to do a live show.
They're going to be like, what the fuck's wrong with this guy?
How the fuck does he know
how the fuck do you
everything?
say this word?
Yeah. Plato. He said the land itself was said to be so fertile that farmers could harvest twice a year. Not just once a year. Double fertility. Thanks to mild winters, gentle rains, and irrigation systems that rivaled those of ancient Egypt.
In an island in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
my thing. I'm like,
Their diets, rich in fruits, grains, fish, and meats. Thanks to the variety of natural resources. In fact, Plato even noted that they had elephants.
What the fuck?
What?
Suggesting an exotic wildlife ecosystem that's unusual for what we typically imagine as the Mediterranean. But later on in our theories, some would say it's closer to Africa.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, because there's an elephant. Yeah. Elefante. Elefante. Yeah. Politically, Atlantis was ruled by 10 kings, each descended from the Poseidon's 10 sons.
Oh, shit.
Oh, wow.
These kings governed separate regions but swore loyalty to Atlas, the oldest brother. They convened regularly in the Temple of Poseidon, where they discussed laws, sacrificed bulls, and a ritual that ended with the kings dipping their hands in blood and using golden tablets to record their decrees.
So they were like the board of directors.
Yeah, the board of directors. They were the board.
It's a little bit Game of Thronesy, but like a little bit like a council as opposed to one ruler of Game of Thrones.
And I never really understood like the board, like the bull sacrifice.
Sacrificing.
Like, so Poseidon is the king of the ocean.
Right.
He's also the god of like the ocean.
Yeah.
There's no like, why is he like, why don't you sacrifice like a whale or something?
Yeah.
And he's like, no, fuck that. Get the land creatures. Fuck them.
Don't touch my sea creature.
Yeah, fuck those bulls.
Well, they're like way easier.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
They
I don't do a whole whale this time.
And they actually like bleed out.
Yeah. So he says Atlantis wasn't just a city, it was a superpower. According to Plato, the Atlantean Empire stretched beyond the island home to include parts of Europe and North Africa. It dominated the seas with a navy and seemed unstoppable. Until everything changed. For a long time, the Atlanteans lived virtuously. They honored the gods, they respected nature, and they upheld justice. But generations on, something began to rot beneath the golden rubble.
Yeah, it's called greed.
Plato writes that they became corrupted by their own success. The divine essence.
It's always traced back to money.
Yeah, it's literally, they're like, damn.
It truly does. The divine essence that Poseidon had instilled in his bloodline was diluted over time. So you remember there were 10 sons of Poseidon.
Yeah.
So just imagine the sons of the sons of the sons of the sons.
Yeah, and they're like, I'm fucking the shit.
And you're like, well, I'm really like a third cousin.
You're like, I swear I'm a son.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's like a bastard son.
So he says that it was diluted from the bloodline over time, and the people of Atlantis grew greedy, arrogant, and obsessed with material wealth. And you can imagine the scene: the once noble kings, now fat, sick of luxury and excess, eating their grapes and just
I know, like being fanned by palm
just fucking
fronds.
Titties everywhere, and just going out of control.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Absolutely. Oh God!
Excellent movie reference. That was amazing.
So their temples fell into disrepair. Their conquest of the world was no longer about divine mission, but it was about domination. They built vast armies, launched a campaign across the Mediterranean. Their sights eventually fell on Athens, but not the historical Athens of the Parthenon. No, Plato described a prehistoric Athens, a righteous and modest society filled with brave warriors and leaders. Here's the twist. Despite being smaller and less equipped, this ancient Athens defeated the Atlanteans. They stood firm against tyranny, valuing freedom over wealth.
Sounds like 300.
I know, right? That's exactly what I was thinking.
I know, they're like, Atlantis is the Persians.
Yeah.
So Plato describes it as a moral showdown between virtue versus vice.
And I love how it's, of course, Athens is the
of
because
course
he's Athenian.
You know
and
this,
so he's
right?
like, oh, of course, we are the most
fellow Athenians,
the most noble and moral humans who've ever lived. Of course, of course.
Dude, that's actually a fucking phenomenal point.
Yeah. It's like, of
course.
Of course, the Athenians.
We were the righteous ones.
Yeah.
We were the good guys. They were the bad guys.
It was also there was 5 Athenian cobblers.
Yes.
And they defeated the entire Atlantean navy.
Yeah. So after their defeat by the Athenians, the gods, Zeus included, looked down on Atlantis and decided time was up.
Zapped them.
In what Plato calls a single day and night of misfortune, Atlantis was struck by a series of violent natural disasters. Earthquakes shook the ground. Floods flooded the fields. The city, the temples, the people, all swallowed by the sea, and Atlantis vanished with no trace.
Wow.
You're done. You're done, son.
And really, that's kind of the whole myth.
Should have kept it the bulls, bro. Should have kept sacrificing them bulls.
Yeah.
You know, like that's actually the myth. And one theory is that Plato may have been inspired by the memory of a real catastrophe, which is like an eruption of a volcano around 1600 BCE, devastated the island of Santorini and triggered massive tsunamis from the volcano. So the volcano happened, and then they pushed it out. Right?
I mean, the also thing that we need to take into account here too is this is, you know, a long time ago, supposedly. He said it was 10,000 years prior. So let's say hypothetically in, 10,500 BCE, people also forget to realize that we live like the earth, the what we're standing on is tectonic plates. They're constantly in motion.
Yeah.
And, there's a core.
Catastrophes everywhere.
It's
Those are like very, very real.
They're in motion. It's like the concept of Pangea. And there was like one supercontinent and it broke up into the continents that we have now.
Right.
Yeah. And so if that was like in motion and continents were still moving, it's very easy to like, they collide. That's how the mountains exist.
Very true.
Literally
That's
rock
really
moving
good
into
point.
rock.
Yeah, very true.
So it could have been like, they're like, yeah, we're killing the game. And
that happened way before 10,500 BC. No?
Oh, speculative.
It's hard to
we don't
say.
really
Yeah,
know.
that's
It's
right.
like,
Really
they're
hard
like,
to
oh,
say.
I was there, bro. I know what happened.
No, but it was supposedly like, I don't know, I want to say like millions of years before.
Yeah,
that?
supposedly.
Yeah.
Supposedly.
Well, I mean, I think you could probably. No, I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah. I understand
You
what
know,
you're saying,
yeah.
but it's also like, really? I don't know.
Yeah, you don't know. You're right.
I don't
You're
know
right.
shit.
Could have been fucking 11,000 years.
It should have happened like tonight. Like we're in Atlantis right now.
Yeah.
But again, going back to like how we were talking about, he's incredibly specific. He gave measurements for the city's layout. We talked about that. He detailed the laws, like he laid out the laws that they had in Atlantis.
How would he know the laws though?
He knew the military size. So again, like people go, well, there's no way that this is made up.
Well, they're
although you could make it up.
I mean, circa 2025.
Sure, yeah.
I watched 8 seasons of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I'm just saying, like, if you can make it up, like, it's possible. Like 7 hours of Lord of the Rings, and you're
so
like, there's a whole universe that exists.
That's so true. Honestly, so I not this month, but a couple months ago, I finished Fellowship of the Ring,
dude,
for the first time in my life.
So good.
And it is so descriptive.
Dude, the literal, like,
it's
really
unbelievable.
Dude, the character development in Lord of the Rings is sub to none.
It's
like
absolutely, it's almost frustrating.
Dude, homie created multiple languages. He literally, like, you can do anything.
Yeah.
Trust me, you can do anything.
Right.
Tolkien did it.
Good point.
So Plato was clearly preparing to tell more, and he had planned to continue the narrative in Critias with even more details about the ancient world and its downfall. But as you turn the page, you find he never finished. And we talked about that, right?
It just kind of ended.
So the dialogue ends mid-thought with no conclusion. And so this is kind of where this mystery and or conspiracy or whatever you want to call it goes. And so these are the final words we have from Plato on Atlantis. And I quote, "And when the gods saw that this fair race was growing too proud and wicked and was not worthy of the happiness which they enjoyed, they resolved to chastise them. And that they might bring them to a better mind, they gathered all the gods into their most holy habitation, which being placed in the center of the world, beholdeth all things that partake of generation. And when they had assembled together, Zeus, the god of gods, who reigned with law and beholdeth all things and was aware the attention of the gods, said unto them, ... And that's it.
Oh, that's it.
Maybe that's like the most epic foreshadowing ever. Maybe he did it on purpose. The gods said unto them,
no more.
You decide what happens.
Like, yeah, he literally says, and the gods.
Like, dude,
no,
I'm telling you,
there's no divine judgment.
The most epic foreshadowing ever.
No. It ends. It just simply ends.
I like that.
There's no known follow-up, no continuation. It's as if the scroll was torn or the storyteller walked off the stage before giving you the climax.
He's like, I gotta poop.
Now, keep in mind, this is so long ago that we don't know. We don't know what happened. Like, we don't even know if he died before he finished writing it.
Right.
This is a long time ago.
Yeah.
360 BCE. That's 2,500 years ago.
God, see, the thing that pisses me off.
So we don't know
if he did finish and it just got lost.
Correct.
Well, my point I was about to make is that, like, it's so frustrating that we've lost so much potential data.
I know.
For example, when the Library of Alexandria got fucking
gotta
burned,
do an episode on that.
Like, can you imagine the infinite wealth of information that was in the Library of Alexandria?
Thousands of years of humanities.
Oh, just everything. They had
knowledge.
All of it. They had all the information.
Yeah. But this unfinished sentence has become part of Atlantis myth. It adds to the eerie sense of interrupted knowledge. Did he die?
Right.
Did he intentionally stop and go, I don't know the rest of this, so I'm not going to write it?
Yeah, he's like, shit, I'm running.
Do you know what I mean? You're like, oh, it's dinner. I gotta go, and then he just died. We don't know. And so the story ends not with ruins or relics, but with a sentence and with silence. And so that is the end of our
Plata.
Like from there,
right
from the end, and that's the whole story of Atlantis. Actually,
that's where we get it from. That is.
So as we go forward, now we're going to kind of talk about what has happened since. That's the whole story, right?
Okay.
For over 1,500 years, most people viewed the Atlantis story as fiction, a political fable meant to illustrate Plato's vision of the ideal society and what happens when you break the rules of your society.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, it is a good point. Like, just to the whole...
It's not bad, right?
If you look at and it's happened with every single major superpower. Society. It's always happened. It's always the same thing that happens. It happened with the Romans. It happened with the Egyptians. It happened with the Spanish. It happened with the Germans. It happened with it just keeps. It always happens with the British. Yeah, like, it happens. Like, everyone always overreaches. You overreach and you get too greedy and you think you can just fucking rule everything and you think that you have some sort of divine providence to like just to take over and control.
And even not at that level, like more of a personal level, like you get some cash all of a sudden and you're like, oh, I'm gonna go to casino, I'm gonna go buy this, I'm gonna go buy that. You know, instead of actually doing something with that.
Broke bitch.
Yeah. But also you get into the land of not only greed and overreach, but of losing your moral fiber.
Yeah, I mean that's really what happened.
Right.
That's really what happened with Rome. Like Rome got very very like crazy.
Yeah.
Wild.
So you get
like
so rich that you don't even have to work anymore.
Right.
And then nobody is productive in any way.
Well, it's not even that. It's not even that.
And then you're bored. So what happens when you're bored?
You're left to invent
and you're rich as
fucking
fuck.
games.
No, but the thing is, it's not even that. It's that you're doing things that can get you in trouble, but you have impunity.
Yeah.
You can't get in trouble.
Totally.
No one can tell you what to do.
And that's why you do it.
And then people are like, you can't do that, and you kill those people.
Fuck off.
I know. Those people's fucking heads are on the wall. And you're like, what are you going to do now?
Yeah.
No, you like lose the sense of, you lose family sense. You know, you're like, dude, I don't need the, and you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like you just
true,
lose you lose everything.
Well, back to the karmic point, I do believe that not necessarily like karma is a thing, but like I think there is a sense of that, is that I think we all inherently have like a built-in moral compass and moral code of the things that we know that are inherently right and inherently wrong, and I think we all know and agree to that, even if you don't act upon it, you still know. So if you're knowingly going against something that you feel is wrong, like you're eventually going to you're going to bring about your own downfall, because you don't, no one really wants to be a bad guy. Like even criminals don't want to be criminals, but they do it out of a sense of necessity that they have to, but they don't want to.
Yeah.
Like no one wants to be a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like no one's like striving to be some asshole.
Yeah, exactly. No, very true. Very true.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
Did you know that parents rank financial literacy as the #1 most difficult life skill to teach? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app for families. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on your kids' spending with real-time notifications. Kids learn to earn, save, and spend wisely, and parents can rest easy knowing their kids are learning about money with guardrails in place. Try Greenlight risk-free today at greenlight.com/Spotify.
So this is 1,500 years have gone by as it just being a story and just being like a fable or whatever. But during the age of exploration, when European ships were sailing west across unknown seas, and this is like towards
before they mapped it all.
Yeah, where like let's go explore to America, etc. Writers speculated Atlantis might have been located in the New World.
Atlantis.
Some claimed the native peoples of the Americas were descendants of Atlanteans.
I'm down.
Yeah, what the fuck?
I like
this idea grew even stronger into the 19th century thanks to one man. And this is a cool name, Ignatius Donnelly.
Damn, what a baller.
In 1882, American Congressman and writer Ignatius Donnelly published Atlantis, the Antediluvian World. He argued that Atlantis was not only real, but the mother civilization of all of humanity.
Oh, so they think that was like...
started it all.
Yeah, that was like the
first big one. The first...
Yeah, because like that was my other question too. Is like technically, hypothetically, let's say Atlantis is real. And there's a big island city. They did say it was an island. Like within 50 years, 100 years, you're going to have a very bad overpopulation problem.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to do with the people?
It's pretty small, or at least the description is pretty small.
Like you're going to need to like expand just to like house the humans.
Yeah, And only the rich people live in the concentric circles.
Yeah. They're like, leave.
Yeah. That's like prime Malibu spot.
That's
fucking,
listen, bro.
that's
Like,
shit.
I own a tech company, so.
Yeah. So he said Atlantis was the origin of Egyptian and Mesoamerican cultures.
Okay.
Ancient myths and symbols in different cultures could be traced back to it. You know, when you see a symbol and you like, that's kind of Atlantean. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but we don't even know what Atlantean symbols are.
I
So
know.
it's like,
I know. Again, and then he correlated that the destruction was the biblical Great Flood.
that's what I was saying. It's
Similar
like
to Noah's Ark.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
You know, it's even like, what was the one? Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yeah.
Sodom and Gomorrah. It's a biblical story where pretty much God's wrath, they were doing, you know, a bunch of stuff that God wasn't cool with.
Okay.
Yeah. Sexually.
Yeah.
It's the derivation of sodomy, actually.
Yeah. So like there was a lot of
that's true. That's true.
Yeah, they're
you know,
doing
man on man stuff, and then God supposedly smote this city.
Because they went down the path.
Yeah, they went down a path that wasn't like aligned. I think that one is a little bit more. That's a little more like you
just
know
biblical,
that's a little more like Baptist church. Law right there.
There you go.
But in a similar concept.
Yeah. Donnelly's book was a sensation, though modern scholars reject most of his ideas. He popularized Atlantis as a real advanced civilization, and this is in late 1800s.
Okay.
So that's when it became what we know it as
hot,
today.
yeah.
It's Atlantis.
Okay.
You know, that sort of thing. So here we go, and then we talk about where could it be?
Yeah.
Like physically. Despite being lost for over 9,000 years, if Plato's timeline is to be believed, people have never stopped searching for Atlantis. And while there's no universally accepted location, dozens of serious and semi-not serious candidates have emerged over the centuries. Some are grounded in archaeology, some are based on myth, some are based on simply what Plato said.
Yeah.
So here are some of the
speculative locations.
Yes, but these are the top ones.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. The first one, and this is basically the number one.
Yeah.
Like this is every documentary you're gonna watch. This is it.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's Santorini. And we talked about it a little bit earlier.
Yeah,
And it's where the volcano
That's
happened.
where the volcano happened.
Yeah. And this is the Minoan hypotheses. Yeah, and these are people.
Okay.
Yeah. This is one of the most widely accepted theories. In the Aegean Sea lies the island of Santorini, formerly known as Thera. Around 1600 BCE, it suffered one of the most catastrophic volcanic eruptions in human history.
Oh shit!
The explosion,
like that's like just well documented. Like
Yeah.
you know,
It
okay.
happened. Yeah, it happened. Yeah. The explosion devastated the advanced Minoan civilization, which flourished on nearby Crete. They had elaborate architecture, indoor plumbing, and written scriptures.
Damn, they had indoor plumbing?
Yeah.
For real?
Back in the 1600 BCE?
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
What?
talking about a flex.
And
It's you don't have to shit
proven.
outside, sweetheart.
Yeah.
We got the plumbing in
No,
here.
and it's proven, right?
Yeah.
Because they have the digs and
Oh,
they
like
the,
see
like,
that the
piping
plumbing.
and shit,
Yeah,
like-
yeah. But
crazy.
it wasn't quite piping. It was just like a
Holes.
Yes.
It was just like a
No,
series
but and
of
then the
holes.
holes went into tunnels, and the tunnels went all, and then
And there
they
was
all
like a dude down
connected.
there
Wow.
like,
And so you'd go and I mean, to be crude, you'd go and you would shit, and then it wouldn't go into your downstairs roommate. It would go
through
down the
hole,
tunnel.
like, into their living room.
Yeah, and it would go down the tunnel, and then it would go down to the basically like the ravine or whatever,
Yeah.
and then it would go out.
The dumping
Yeah,
grounds. Yeah.
exactly. And if you remember, I don't know if you remember the Jack the Ripper episodes we went over. At Jack the
Yeah.
Ripper time,
Mhm.
they were just shitting out
They
the
were shit on
windows.
that dude, and they were throwing their
Yes.
shit out windows, bro.
They hadn't even figured that out in Jack the Ripper time.
I'm sorry,
That's
dude.
what I'm
British-
telling you. That's why it's so
dude,
impressive.
The British
Like,
were
what?
sketch. Like,
Yes.
that's why the Black Plague happened
Mm-hmm.
because of that, because of that shit.
Recently, we went to Boston.
Mhm.
There was a little thing that I remembered from one of the tours where Boston and Philadelphia, you could smell before you got there.
Oh God. Oh.
That's the worst.
Oh.
Before
Jeez.
it. Just, do you know
That's
what I
why
mean?
people are like, oh, I want
Because
to go
there
back
was-
in time. Like, I never want to
Yes.
go back in time.
I mean, granted, this
Oh.
is in the 1700s, but
I mean,
still
disgusting.
So
Philly, you can still.
Dude,
We've all been. All three of us have been to Philly together.
I know.
And it's
so
it's gotta be those Eagles fans.
Oh, dude, yeah, they're gonna. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, they're gonna shit on me.
Burn my fucking house down. Jesus Christ.
So their palaces collapsed. The tsunamis followed the volcano, and then they were overridden.
That does happen.
Yeah.
I mean, also, if you look, a lot of tsunamis happen from underwater, underground volcanoes.
Yeah, and definitely we've learned as humanity, don't build a civilization on an island.
It's not smart.
It's not
a smart
near
plan.
other volcanoes. So basically, the island had a civilization on it, and it's a big island. And then just imagine there's a volcano nearby on on the land, and that's what happened. The volcano erupted, tsunami came.
Yes,
and
anywhere where there's like any sort of seismic activity, you don't want an island.
But the theory behind this is that Plato just didn't have great history, and he distorted the history
location.
of the Minoans.
Oh, so
okay.
it's so in essence,
it's the history.
It was a history of the Minoans. It wasn't actually a separate civilization.
That's right.
Because they're clearly advanced. They had fucking
True.
legit shit solutions.
Yeah.
In the 1700s. I mean, that's
So
amazing.
there's a circular crater that was left by the volcano, and it kind of resembles
circular crater.
Yeah,
You said creator.
Sorry, circular crater.
Yeah, but
left by the volcano.
that's how he pronounced everything. We just went over this with his wife the other day.
Oh, that's right. Cyril.
Yeah,
Cyril.
What do you eat in the morning, Eric? What is it called?
Cereal.
Cereal.
No.
What do you eat in the morning?
Cereal.
Cereal. Do you say word? You say worder too? Worder?
Like chimes.
Water?
Just say like chimes.
I say
or
water.
something.
I say water.
Oh no. Okay. Maybe it's like
No,
a New England thing like worder.
My dad says wash.
What?
Like, hey, give me your clothes. I'm gonna wash them.
Oh.
Oh, I thought you were like Worcestershire.
Yeah, I was like, that's what he calls wash.
Like, there's that, you see that little R in there?
Yeah.
Wash. I'm gonna wash them.
Sorry, I know we're in a little tangent here, but I always
Yeah.
thought it was super fascinating, like all the idiosyncrasies
Oh,
of,
yeah.
of language that
Mhm.
happen. I remember, so I grew up in Ohio, and I remember me and my mom went to we were going through some fast food place, and like the differentiation of the word please. So, please can mean like come again, like please.
Oh, right, yeah.
Or it could also mean like, yes, I want it.
Yeah.
So we're in the drive-through, and she thinks do you guys want ketchup? And my mom's like, please. And she's like, oh, do you guys want ketchup? She's like, please. Like, give me the
Yeah,
ketchup.
like, yes, I do.
And she's like, she's like, no, I want the ketchup. Give me the ketchup.
So it's like a yes.
I know. She's like,
Almost.
it's like a yes.
Yeah, it's like a yes.
It's like yes,
Yeah.
please. When you say please, same
Yeah.
thing with like in Ohio, a lot of people call it pop.
Yeah,
as opposed to soda, they call it pop.
Yeah. True.
It's really weird idiosyncrasies.
Midwesty. Yeah.
Anyways, I don't know how I got
when I moved to Florida, I'm from California, from San Francisco, and I came here and I went to like a diner or whatever one of the first times, and the waitress was said "sweetie" like the whole time, and doesn't sound weird to you guys probably,
no,
but I thought she was hitting on me.
Oh, she wants it.
I was like, this is on.
I got the ends.
I was like, this is on.
She's a little old for me, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
The Waffle House.
Yeah,
lady.
but
she's like fucking tired.
But then I realized,
like, not interested in this shit.
But then a couple years later, I was like also at a diner, and I said it to her.
I've heard Eric say this to like 100 people.
Yeah, and it's
just-
very off-putting.
Oh, dude, like all the time.
It's very off-putting. I've been told like by my wife, like, don't do that.
Creepy.
Like you're creepy, condescending.
No, but
like
here's
you
the
know,
thing.
I'm like, hey,
Here's the
thanks,
thing.
sweetie.
Eric
Yeah.
doesn't do it in that way. Eric calls his son sweetie.
Yeah,
Like
I do.
so, like he doesn't. He's not doing
I
it like
do.
in like a
Yeah,
condescending or like weird
Yeah.
way.
It just stuck with
He
you
just
then?
does
Like,
it.
I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
This is what he
there you go.
does.
Yeah, it's the accent.
Welcome to America, baby.
Yeah.
Welcome to Atlanta. That's how we talk.
I wonder what, like, if you were German and you came over to the U.S. and you got called sweetie, is that a
So fuck you. So fuck you. Say to me.
what is? What was
That's
that?
not German.
Yeah, that sounded like
German at all.
fucking Japanese.
I don't
or
know.
something.
So fuck you say to me? You try to fuck on me?
So Santorini, it fits it perfectly because the crater left behind from the volcano resembles the description of a ringed city.
Oh, so maybe there was like a dude who was like, "Oh, I saw this ring." And he's like,
Yeah.
"Imagine if it was in the ocean."
Yeah.
And they had fucking plumbing, bro.
But in short, Santorini is a rich, seafaring, technologically advanced culture early on, wiped out by a major cataclysm.
I also have a hard time believing that Atlantis had like this like lush farmland.
And it was
if you're
hard.
on an island.
Yeah.
And the island also has concentric circles, so it's not just like pure land.
But remember, he said that it was so fertile that they farmed twice
a
per
year. Yeah.
Like, let's be real. But wait. On that same note, you know that isn't historically, I think like volcanic fucking soil is supposedly pretty like extremely fertile, I believe.
Okay.
Maybe I
I
could
don't
be,
know
But
about
that was the end
I
of
could be
it.
making that up.
But the volcano was the end.
No,
No,
I'm saying,
the volcano was already there.
No, I'm saying on the Santorini
Oh,
theory.
I see.
On the Santorini theory, it could have been very fertile ground.
I got you.
Yeah.
I could, like I said, I could be making this shit up.
Yeah.
High school diploma here, buddy.
The next one is the Richat structure, and it's called the Eye of the Sahara. Hidden in the vast deserts of the Mauritania, West Africa, lies a stunning natural formation, the Richat structure.
Yes.
Also called the Eye of Sahara. It's a massive 28-mile wide series of concentric rings of stone visible only from space. Recent years, this site has captivated Atlantis theorists. It matches Plato's description of concentric rings of land and water.
Dude, it's super fucking cool.
Yeah,
It
we're
lies
looking at it right now. It's pretty cool. We're gonna put some pictures up.
It lies beyond the Pillars of Hercules, and if you interpret them more closely as symbolic boundaries.
It's also like, Africa wasn't always this like desolate, fucking
Sand.
rough, hard terrain.
Mm-hmm.
It was like very lush, just like we talked about in the Egypt episode. Like Egypt wasn't always like some like desert fucking
That's right.
shithole.
Yeah.
It was great. It was lush. It was beautiful. They had palm trees and grass. It was like fertile as fuck.
Fertile. That's the key going back. Ancient artifacts have been found in the region suggesting prehistoric human habitation. There are even theories of nearby saltwater deposits and canals that may have linked the area to the ocean. Of course, skeptics argue it's a natural geological formation and not something that's been proven as made by man.
Well, yeah, it's also like, over 10,000 years. I don't think you can prove, like,
I know.
What are you going to prove? Nothing to prove.
Yeah. Sean and I were talking about the concept of sometimes Mother Earth will make things that look man-made. And so we were talking about the Giant's Causeway in Ireland.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
And we've both been there, and there are these steps, and we'll do an episode on it. We'll do a mini maybe.
Yeah.
But there are these big steps, and they call them the Giant's Causeway because like the myth behind it is that they were built for giants.
Exactly.
And they were a staircase for giants.
Yes.
But they're perfect fucking
it's
smooth
when you go
steps.
It's first of all it's absolutely breathtaking. It's just beautiful. It's such a beautiful landscape, and it's unbelievable. But these rock formations, they're all in these hexagon shapes.
Yeah.
And they're fucking perfectly smooth, and some of them they get so tall, but it's almost like it's a plant. It's like it grew upwards in a hex, but there's like all these hexagons that are together, and they're like at different.
And how big are they? Like the size of a house, or are you talking about like the size of a car? Or?
I mean,
no, they're like big.
The hexagons themselves are like this big.
Okay.
They're probably the size of like like that, like the size of like a basketball.
Okay,
but
yeah,
they're they're everywhere, and like how the fuck did that happen?
Yeah,
the other ones are big though.
Yeah,
the ones that are stacked up.
Some of them like go up.
Yeah,
like and they go up and you climb up, and like for photo ops, you climb up on that shit.
But when you're there, you're like, yeah, this was man-made.
No, it doesn't seem.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
I think we even had like a person was trying to explain it. I'm like, yeah, cool, whatever the fuck you say, bro.
Yeah.
Like this is not real.
But that's kind of like, and the reason we bring that up is because it's the official resolution of the Giant's Causeway is that it was nature made.
Yeah, like this is the planet.
It's made by the planet.
Right.
Yeah. So that's the argument on the other side of this one.
Yeah, there's always going to be that argument.
Yeah, exactly. The next one is the Azores. And I don't know if you listened to our mini for Patreons only, but this is nearby where the ghost ship landed. Which, anyways,
I wasn't there. I was putting my daughter to sleep. Fucking asshole.
So that was by Portugal, right?
That's right. Yeah. I mean, not
Or no?
Yeah. No, but it's in the middle of
but
the
it was
ocean.
that's
yeah,
right. It was
yeah,
like,
Sure.
way-
yeah.
Yeah,
So it's in the
sure.
middle of the Atlantic Ocean, roughly 900 miles west of Portugal. It's a group of volcanic islands perched on the mid-Atlantic ridge. Many believe that these could be the last visible peaks of a once sunken continent.
Okay.
And the idea gained traction in the 1800s and 1900s, especially after a submarine cables revealed unexpected shallow ridges and plateaus under the sea, some of which were interpreted as remnants of a sunken island.
Interesting.
Even more tantalizing. In 2013, marine researchers reported finding anomalous geometric structures on the seafloor near the Azores, including what looked like a submerged pyramid.
Maybe what if they had like a big ass pyramid island?
Yeah.
I think you're on mute.
Workday starting to sound the same?
I think you're on mute.
Find something that sounds better for your career on LinkedIn. With LinkedIn Job Collections, you can browse curated collections by relevant industries and benefits, like flex PTO or hybrid workplaces, so you can find the right job for you. Get started at linkedin.com/jobs. Finding where you fit. LinkedIn knows how.
This message is brought to you by Abercrombie Kids, where the activewear is made for every summer activity, so your mini-me can bring their personal best. Summer days are always an adventure, from day camp to rec leagues and pool days. Abercrombie Kids has the shorts, tees, and swim to keep them comfy and keep up with them. Get everything for the entire summer at Abercrombie Kids. Shop in-store, online, or in the app.
Here we go. Tune into part 8 of the pyramids.
I know, right? Literally, Eric's like, you understand. They had that canoes,
Yeah.
right? And they, trust me, they were well paid, well fed. They had bakeries.
Though mainstream scientists called it a sonar glitch,
okay.
Some believe it to be evidence of ancient architecture buried beneath the Atlantic.
Okay.
Yeah. The next theory, and this is more of the out there theories, which is way more fun. It's Antarctica under the ice.
Oh.
It poses that Atlantis is buried beneath the Antarctica's ice sheet. How could it be possible? Some point to the Piri-Reis map, a 1513 world map drawn by an Ottoman admiral. It shows an oddly accurate depiction of an ice-free Antarctica centuries before it was even officially discovered.
What was that called again?
The Piri-Reis map. Piri space REIS map.
Okay.
But supporters claim this suggests that an ancient seafaring civilization once mapped the continent before it even froze.
But see, the thing is, like, okay, sure, but Antarctica's unless the only thing that makes sense is like the pole flipping theory, like the poles have flipped.
Yeah.
Because if it's on a pole, when could it have ever been not cold?
Yeah.
I don't
know.
I don't know.
One's a little far-fetched.
Yeah.
But the idea is they go, oh shit, a map from 1513.
Some homie
we didn't
wrote
even discover Antarctica yet.
Some homie
So
like
of
this made a
course,
map.
yeah. Anyways, some say also that the Nazi expeditions in the 30s and 40s allegedly searched for Antarctica for ancient relics. And that only fueled more conspiracy theories, as some say they were looking for Atlantis.
I think we touched on that also a little bit.
We
on our
did,
episode,
yeah. And not only looking for Atlantis, but looking for technology that maybe Atlanteans had.
Fountain of Youth.
Yeah, they were
right?
just looking
Something
for.
like that.
They were always looking for fucking something.
Fucking Jason Momoa.
I know he's out there. Get off my island.
Yeah, I know. In Spain, another theory is that just north in southern Spain lies the Donoan National Park, a vast marshland and former lagoon. In 2011, a team of scientists claimed they found possible underwater ruins beneath the wetlands, including rectangular structures and a possible temple-like complex. Some believe this area could be the original site of Atlantis, especially since Plato mentioned that Atlantis controlled land, and I quote, as far as Egypt and Italy. Satellite images and ground-penetrating radar scans have shown promising anomalies, but excavation has been limited due to environmental sensitivity of the area and the fact that it's under the ocean.
Yeah, it's a little difficult. I mean, most people don't like. I say this again. I've said it many times. Is that the ocean is 98% of the Earth's biosphere, meaning 98% of the livable space on this planet is the water.
Yeah,
it is fucking mathematically impossible for us to actually be able to catalog and understand what is going on under there.
Correct.
There's species that we have not fucking found. Mm-hmm. There's life forms that live without light. Like there's this like life forms that live under like intense amount of pressure. Like, pressure that could crush a submarine, like that is made out of hardened fucking steel, like crush it into a fucking little like a napkin. Mm-hmm. And there's little creatures that can live in the pressure that could vaporize the human body.
What's crazy too is God knows what's under the ocean. I feel like there's so much.
Of course, yeah.
That's why
crazy.
You'll never. It would take us if the entire planet was dedicated to trying to find.
We all just stopped everything and we're like, let's
it would take us 1,000 years and we still wouldn't fucking find it all.
Yeah. Another theory is the Caribbean.
Oh, like Bermuda Triangle?
Off the coast of the Bimini Islands in the Bahamas, divers in the 60s discovered a strange formation known as the Bimini Road.
Yes, the road. That's pretty cool, though.
It's a half-a-mile stretch of large rectangular stones arranged in a pattern that looks man-made.
I think we talked about it in the Bermuda Triangle episode we went
on. And I did watch a documentary on the Bimini Road, and it's pretty interesting.
It's pretty cool. It's super cool.
I don't know if it's related to the Atlantis theory, but it's pretty interesting. There's something there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
something was there.
There was a road or a port.
There was something there.
It almost seems like a port.
Yeah. That makes sense.
That they had, and then the sea levels rose or whatever.
Like, it's also like, look, let's be realistic, guys. Like if we're expecting there to be like, well, we're gonna find like the city that's like perfectly
intact,
perfectly intact. Like you realize that the ocean is a corrosive substance.
Mm-hmm. True.
Like salt water will just erode anything over time. It's just what it does.
Yeah.
This is acid. It's literally you're literally like this city, 10,000 years in a fucking giant pool of acid. What's gonna happen? I don't know. It's like stay intact. Like,
by the way, does gold Okay, hear me out.
Okay.
So say Jorge and I are pirates.
Yes.
And we steal a bunch of gold and we have a whole cargo of gold.
Yeah.
And then
we sink.
And then we sink. Yeah. And say that was like the 1500s, 1600s.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Would the gold corrode or do anything after 400 or 500 years? Underwater?
No, I don't think so.
The gold specifically.
I don't think gold specifically
wouldn't.
corrodes. No.
Interesting. That makes it so much better.
Almost every other.
Everything else would like erode around it.
Yeah.
Or like,
I mean, because almost all metals will oxidize, which causes rust.
Yep.
And then deterioration.
Yep. Hence, if you wanted an example, the Titanic, if you go and you see almost all of that is rusted out and falling apart.
Well, there's a reason that gold is so valuable. It's not just for like, because it's shiny, pretty.
Yeah.
It's gold. Gold is
scarce.
Gold is well, obviously the scarcity is one factor,
but not just that.
But gold is one of the most useful and versatile substances that we have
because we can manipulate it too.
Well, gold is extremely malleable. You can pound out gold extremely thin and it still maintains its integrity. Gold is an amazing insulator as well. Amazing conductor.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like this gold has all these different facets that makes it super
what
useful.
It is. Yeah,
it's extremely useful.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just that's why it just. The uses are like fucking endless. You can use it for fucking anything.
I was just wondering if, let's just say Atlantis was like eroded or like it's no longer there, but would the treasures be?
I mean, theoretically, yeah, but the treasures would be at the bottom of the ocean.
I know,
And
but
if
I mean,
it's like 2 miles down,
they should be
they
there.
should be there.
find
Yeah.
it.
No,
Yeah.
all right. I like it.
We're about to start an expedition, boys.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people have done that. So
I know.
So the Bimini Road, we'll put some photos up of that as well. But it's basically like natural limestone formation in these rocks. And it looks like somebody built a freaking road.
It's
honestly.
it's straight. It's
And
a straight road.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's also like the sides are even. It's
Yeah.
not like there's a rock out here.
Yeah,
there's
they're
a
not
rock
like
out
random
here.
rocks that just fell close to each other. You could
No,
tell
that's
they're
right.
lined up.
It's like
perfectly.
Legos.
Yeah,
That's right. But to me, it's too far away.
I don't think that's Atlantis. I think that was
Yeah. And it's
Oh,
too short.
yeah,
It's because,
yeah.
what is it, a mile? Half a
Yeah,
mile?
half miles. Half
Half a
mile.
mile.
long. No. You're gonna
No,
have
nothing.
the world's largest navy.
Yeah,
on, like a half
yeah,
a
like
mile
half a
like,
mile,
road.
yeah. It looks like, anyways. Okay, good. Then the last part of this, which is the wild card and fringe theories.
Fuck yeah.
Even though we already went over the Nazis in Antarctica, that might fall into that.
Space Nazis
yeah.
in Antarctica.
Some argue that it's in Indonesia, now largely underwater. It was home to a massive civilization lost when sea levels rose over the last ice age.
Okay.
Possibly.
I mean, the last ice age was 15,000 years ago, something like that.
Yeah, it's about right.
So that it kind of checks out.
Could be in that range.
Yeah, and
yeah.
there definitely was a lot of flooding.
Yeah. Bolivia is the other idea. Researcher Jim Allen proposed that the Altiplano Plateau near Lake Pupu fits Plato's description, suggesting Atlantis wasn't in the ocean but high up in the Andes.
Oh, interesting.
Wait, if it's that was his description? Or what'd you say?
Well, no, he's saying that it doesn't necessarily mean it's underwater.
Ah, okay.
But the description could be a civilization high up in the mountains.
Okay.
If you interpret it a certain way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Surrounded by the concentric circles of air and land.
Then
that would also kind of, if you want to go with that theory, that can explain the fertile land and being able to farm it. And
But up in the mountains, bro, that shit ain't fucking fertile.
Well, isn't there like a line when you get to the mountains where it's the perfect?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Where it turns into snow right below it is. Anyways, I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
It's out there. And then lastly, an alien base.
Fuck yeah.
Yes.
Interesting.
And the early, it's the first civilization that aliens came and provided technology.
What if that's what's under the pyramids is like Atlantis?
Oh.
Well, I mean, that's the theory is that Atlantis is that Plato got the time wrong.
Yeah.
And it's earlier.
Yeah.
And it's the first time that man went from being
like fucking
let's go to being mentally capable for a civilization.
I mean, if you think about it, let's just be realistic. Like we were talking about, I like this the
Moans.
That. I mean, the fact that they
Santorini.
had that technology is like it
A
puts
long
you,
time ago.
You're so much more advanced than the rest of the human race.
Yeah.
It's
And
like imagine like
everybody would want to live there.
Okay, imagine if we were imagine being in the 1500s colonial. Well, let's even go back. Let's imagine being in like year 500, and you're like, oh man, we just invented like the plow. We're fucking destroying. We're killing the game.
And
then
tons of food for everybody.
Yeah. And then,
want fucking corn? You got corn. Go.
And then you see a train, and you're like, what the fuck is that thing?
Yeah.
So like that's what I mean in terms of having something like that. You're light years ahead. Like plumbing is light years ahead of anything else in that time. It's
true.
So what else did they have?
That's right.
I mean,
What
it
else
was
could they have had?
crude plumbing. I mean, it wasn't like
No, but
what we have now. Like
it doesn't matter.
It wasn't
Even
like you jiggle the handle.
No, but
Yeah.
Even the concept of it. Like,
sure.
the
No,
concept
it's
of it
definitely
is, like,
advanced. I mean, I'm just
it's
saying, it's
so
not like
advanced.
you think it's like seeing a train,
Dude, in
compared to a plow?
1700 BCE,
just some
homies were probably
just
like,
some fucking little tube for your shit to go away.
homies were probably like eating the heads off of chickens and shit still because they're like fucking starving to death.
But we also don't know what else they had. That's what he's
saying.
Yeah.
Imagine what other technology they could have had. Like we're looking through ruins and we're like, oh, whoa, like look at these, look at these pipes and shit.
Yeah.
So imagine what else they could have had.
Very true. Very true. So despite all the leads and the theories and the documentaries, the National Geographic shows, all the expeditions, no definitive evidence exists of Atlantis. No temples, no ruins,
no nothing, no treasures,
writing.
It's not like the pyramids, where you like.
Yeah,
there's a lot of theories. There's a lot of conspiracies.
But you can also see it.
Exactly.
There's no writings.
Right.
There's no like.
We're going based off of pretty much just one guy.
Plato.
Plato.
I mean, yeah, and maybe other writings later, but they were all based on him.
Right.
She's like one source of information that we don't know if he's full of shit, but he's also been a known storyteller to try to captivate his students.
Right. Yeah. And also like he's been kind of like his historical, stable
philosopher
person. Yeah. Like that we get a lot of philosophy from a lot
so
of
you
different.
kind of take it as fact.
Exactly.
He's the fucking man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Him and these guys
There's
were
fucking statues of homie like all over the place. Like,
these guys were the forefront of, I consider, philosophy and golden rule, and a lot of the stuff is based on that.
I don't know if the word development, but a lot of development, right?
Yeah, that's right. So, but Atlantis isn't just a question of location or where, but it's also the meaning. So then it represents either was it the story and just a story trying to tell a lesson to his students, or is this fact? Is this history?
I just don't see it's not very lessony to me.
No.
Like obviously there is a lesson in it. And it's like, obviously you don't want to, don't overreach your bounds. Like, obviously stay true to your morals.
Right.
But it'd be different
that's
if
the lesson.
But my
he doesn't like the lesson. That's the
point. That's the thing.
No, it'd be more of a lesson if you're talking about like Rome and you're like, oh, cool. And like you get this crazy insanity, chaos, the Colosseum. Then you get like, ancestral, like incest and the emperors are fucking crazy and Nero burns down half of Rome and like they imploded.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, they were wiped out by a
but you just like that more because there's a lot more actual evidence.
No, I don't like it more. I like it more because they imploded. Like because of them going away from the path, they destroyed themselves,
right?
As opposed to
a
natural disaster destroying them. And it's like, what's the lesson? It's like, if you don't do bad, the natural disaster is gonna fucking kill you. Like an earthquake's gonna kill you.
Right.
So this way, like with the Rome analogy, it's like at least you can see that they imploded. They destroyed themselves,
right?
Because they were off the rails.
Okay.
Whereas Atlantis was off the rails supposedly, but then they got wiped out by something like outside of them.
But
right,
Plato
like the
was
gods,
before
the gods,
the floods.
But just so we all know, Plato was before Rome.
No, but I'm just talking about in terms of like a
so he couldn't have.
I'm not saying him giving a lesson of Rome. I'm saying
correct
in general.
Mm-hmm.
Like what's the
now like in present time? We're just talking about like looking back.
Yeah, I got you. Okay. Yeah.
1 foot, 2 foot, red foot, blue foot. Well, come on.
Yeah. So there you go. I mean, we went over like aliens, Nazi expeditions. There's another one which is Stargates, but that also leads into the alien theories.
I always go with Stargate.
And then
I'm in.
But even nowadays, the stories are of this weird I don't even know how it formed into the underwater world.
I know,
you notice,
right? Yeah.
You notice in like, what is it, DC?
I know, they're like, we're all
Atlantis,
like, we're mermaids.
Yeah, they can fucking swim and they have gills and shit.
They talk to fucking fish.
Yes, like I don't know how it evolved to that.
Well, isn't Poseidon the
god of the
water, right?
Water, yeah.
So wasn't there a statue of him?
Yeah.
And, maybe that's where it comes from.
Yeah. But again, that's it's story. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go. I mean, that is Atlantis really in a nutshell. And at the end, so here are the questions that I wanted you guys to kind of, now that you've heard the story and you could look into it more. There's so many Nat Geo documentaries that you could watch. Even James Cameron did one. He's super into it.
Yeah.
He's super into Atlantis.
Oh, yeah.
and he loves it. But here are the questions. Was Atlantis real?
Are we gonna answer right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we should just.
I'm gonna go with no.
Yeah.
Interessante. I think it was, but it wasn't what we think it was.
Okay.
I don't think it was like this island in the ocean.
Okay.
But I do think it was real.
Okay.
So you just think it was like a civilization?
I think it was a civilization, and I think we just named it, like we just like dubbed it Atlantis, but I think it was a different civilization that happened to be more advanced and this got fucked.
I see.
Yeah.
And so then Plato just used the story.
Yeah. As a
lesson story, as he
It got
as
twisted.
he does.
He used it as a lesson.
And then it just got passed down from time to time to time to time to time.
And it became merman.
Like, it became Jason Momoa.
Yeah, with super strength and
Yes.
sonar.
And his fucking hair.
Yeah, like literally. What do you think?
I agree with Sean.
Oh my god.
I agree with Sean.
How the turns have tables. Jorge's over here.
I agree with Sean. Yeah. He's so specific.
It's very specific.
Okay.
He had to take the story from someone.
I think it was like a real or he just I think he might have taken some known information, like a known civilization, and then just made it into the spun it.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So then the next question on that is, where is it, or where was it?
Well, I already went with no, but
I know that was a problem.
He's like, no, where it is. Nowhere in your fucking imagination.
Yeah,
that's where it is. I mean, I think I like the Santorini idea.
Yeah.
But
too.
I mean, realistically, I have no
that
fucking.
is the one.
The Santorini makes the most sense.
Right.
It's similar. It kind of reminds me of Pompeii.
It does.
You know what I mean? Where there's like a whole civilization, and then
they got
just
fucking
get
erratic. But see, Pompeii had like bodies were preserved from the fucking blast.
I know, and we got nothing.
But it wasn't Santorini's on the water though, right?
Yeah, tsunamis don't really like preserve shit.
That's what I'm saying. If everything got washed away, because like the volcano's one thing, but if there's like an earthquake, and that then causes tsunami, it's just gonna wash everything away.
So what you're saying? Hold on, Jorge. What you're saying is you don't believe that there's some lost city underneath the ground?
No,
that's
I don't.
Atlantis?
Yeah,
or underneath
I don't.
the water?
I
The ocean?
believe basically.
God damn it!
Before you even get into the third one, because I'm already out.
I'm already out.
I'm just gonna tell you. I just think that it was like made up by Plato. He had a. It seemed like he had, a vast vocabulary and like just a very philosophical person, and he made it up. And he could get detailed. Why not? Like we just went over like
snake oil salesman.
Yeah.
Ooh, listen to me, kiddos.
You just make it up to make it sound better.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he used it to push or progress, his philosophies, his agenda,
So like,
his CIA agenda.
I know. He was a plant like, of the Athens CIA.
No, I mean one concept of that is that he just made his lecture better.
Right.
Like he made his lecture more
The best
riveting.
way, and you guys, I think we confirmed it. Like the best way to learn something is like through a story. Like it really like sits with you.
The only reason I passed fucking English class was because we went over the Odyssey.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is fucking awesome.
Yeah. So you kind of, you start to like really visualize it. Oh, that's what we were talking about, like the visualization or the videos and shit like that, right? But anyways, I just think he used it for that, like the visualization purpose, so that it can really stick with people and then pass on his philosophy about morals and ethics and everything else he was teaching back then.
Yeah, I think, and it's also like, just to your point, I mean, I still think it was a real place, but I think if you really want to impact someone in terms of morals, that's what, if you look at most religion, that's what they do is like, you do bad stuff, it's death and destruction.
Yeah, that's right.
Do you want to die? Do you want all of your family to be fucking buried on the ocean?
No, I mean,
of course not. Being a dude,
and that's actually the concept of hell.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah, and the creation.
You're so afraid of bad shit that you do good shit.
Don't sin, so otherwise you have a consequence.
Yeah, eternal damnation.
Yeah.
Okay. Also the fact that it was like 10,000 years before that, and it's like, how can he
How does he know?
How does he know? Like, how do you get all this information?
Oh, like, look,
That's like,
I got a guy.
Fucking Alex Jones.
What if Plato was the Alex Jones of it?
No.
Oh my God. He was making shit up all the time. He's like, oh no, you don't understand.
Yeah. We have a breaking news for you. It's breaking news. We're all gonna die.
And the god stole my homework, I swear.
Yeah, we're all gonna die. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, and then last question, but it's not for Jorge. He doesn't believe they existed at all.
All right, so between me and you.
Do you believe there's any lost gold or technology? Because, like, if you and I set out right now to go be like, sorry, babes, we're going to find Atlantis.
Yeah, like, I'll see you later.
Quitting our jobs.
Taking the second mortgage out of the house.
Can you imagine that? That was so great.
She'd be like, what?
Sean and I are going to find Atlantis.
We have a 99.99% of failure.
Yeah. No, would we find gold and or a technology lost?
I mean, I think your odds are better off just finding gold
plumbing
anywhere. just like on
at the
a
mall,
mountain,
the Tampa International
in the
Mall.
bathroom. No, but like in terms of lost technology, even if I think maybe they were advanced, but like any technology that there was is gone.
Yeah,
it's it's been underwater or blown away by a volcano or whatever for 10,000 plus years.
Yeah,
it's gone.
It doesn't even have to be any crazy technology. It could just be like, I don't know, some farming technology.
Yeah. No, but even if you
figured out the best fucking tacos.
No, but the thing is, like, we say this lost technology, but even if you found something, how would you know if what it was?
Yeah.
What if it was like this lighter right here? If you just hit this little thing right here, that creates unlimited energy.
No, but what I'm saying, it doesn't even have to be something.
We wouldn't know that.
It doesn't even have to be something like that. It could just be like the way that you farm. If it's true that you could like farm
this
it twice.
This is how we harvest crops twice a year.
Dude, so it's like
or seeds. I don't know. Something.
It's
Monsanto's down there.
So it's basically something that we could have used thousands of years ago, but we don't need it now.
No, we got AI now.
Right?
Yeah.
Like it'd be like that would have been great if we were discovering America.
Yeah, we
needed to farm
peasants.
Yeah. All right, well there you guys go. I'm kind of with Sean on this. I do believe a civilization existed, but I think it was exaggerated.
Yeah, I think it was made. It was made into the
mythos,
fantastical story,
and it's turned into this whole mythos thing. But but that would mean that would mean it's out there.
Yeah,
right.
It does exist.
So they're gonna find it one day.
I mean,
I think the ocean.
Now you got all kinds of scanning, technology.
But you
I
can't
mean,
scan
we found the Titanic.
Right.
Yeah, but we knew where that fucker crashed.
That was like 2 miles down.
True.
That was
but we knew where it was, though.
True, we had the coordinates.
I know, we knew exactly where it was. Like shit.
But maybe
it still took us fucking 100 years to find it. Like,
but
shit.
maybe technology will get better, and we'll be able to find it. That's what happened with the Titanic.
Yeah, that's true.
We couldn't find it in 1922.
No, they didn't know.
Right. 10 years
shit.
later.
Yeah.
All right, there you go. That's it. Any
Let
last
us know
words?
your thoughts.
Yeah.
If we missed something, which we clearly always do, because you guys fucking love to let us know how stupid we are.
What I do want to say is we need your guys' help to follow us on socials. Also, we need some reviews. If you're listening to this and you like this episode, you like any other episode that we've done, leave us a good review.
Yeah. Especially on Apple.
Yeah,
because you can actually write a review.
Yes.
Yeah.
There you go, guys. That's the story of Atlantis. Let us know again what you thought, and we'll catch you guys next time.
Yeah, as always.
99.
Hey guys, it's us again. You ever heard of Patreon? Because we just started one. Exclusive content, Discord, which I'm still figuring out. But but we get to talk.
You can suggest new episodes or just let us know something that we already talked about and you want to get in on the conversation. We're there for you.
We're also coming out with shirts and other merch.
There are 2 ways you can sign up for exclusive content. The first is through Spotify. There's a link in our profile description that links you to the Spotify premium page. And that's only $2.99 a month. And it gets you an ad-free experience and it gets you extra episodes that come out every month. The other way is through our Patreon.
All you got to do is go to Patreon and search The Conspiracy Podcast, and you'll find us. There are many different levels there, all giving different amounts of content.
Yeah, because guys, this really does help us. You know, we do this virtually for free, so help us help you enjoy yourselves.